Hello, everybody. If you can hear me, please hit one. All right. All right, good. You guys can go ahead and start chatting amongst yourselves. I'm just waiting for the room to get a little more filled before we begin our chat. All right, while we wait for the people to come into the room, let me give a special shout out to Sean, Nicholas, Amar, Avon. Hadn't heard a thing from you in a minute, buddy. North Scandals Co. 0 Point Spirituality, and Soul Cycle. Welcome, guys. Aside from talking about levels to the Great Awakening, I wanted to just engage with you guys and kind of tap in and see where you guys are, what's on your mind, what you want to chat about. I love you guys too. My devoted supporters, you guys, all these years have been the ones among the ones who have kept me going. Because you guys know there's a lot of crap that comes along with being on the front line of this thing, and it's not fun. It's not easy. We just make it look easy and fun, but it's a team effort. It's a group effort, and all of us have a piece of the puzzle. But as we wake up, we see that there are those who stand proudly holding their peace boldly and loudly while we're still waiting for the others to wake up and get online and hold up their peace. And this has been the most difficult part of it, being ahead of the curve, seeing all of this happening the way it's exactly playing out, and warning the people and making the people aware of what was coming, and you're labeled as crazy, conspiracy theorist, something is wrong with you. Everything, everything wrong is with you, but right, okay? If that makes sense. So now many of these people are starting to see these things unfolding, but because they did not do the groundwork, they're having a very, very difficult time acclimating to all these changes going on. And so here's why you see some people seemingly losing their minds while the others are waking up and standing their ground mentally, physically, spiritually, and psychologically. And the hardest part is seeing those that we love and care about fall and or falling. But I will say it's not all over for them, because again, what I want to get into the levels of the great awakening is that because they are still here and they're still in our lives, there's still a chance they can make that leap and awaken. Because again, this is a this is a gentle awakening. It's been very, very gentle, but what is happening is the labor pains are getting more and more intense, right? Collectively speaking. So we are going through extreme labor pains now. And any woman who has delivered a baby or given birth, who has survived it, they will tell you it literally felt like they were about to make that transition, giving birth. But what comes out once that beautiful life comes out, that new life comes out, they look at that life, the beautiful life, and they're very thankful and can understand and appreciate everything they had to go through to bring forth that life. So this is what we are going through on a collective level. We are giving birth to a new reality, and the old is dying. We can clearly see it. You would have to really, really, really be deaf, dumb, and blind, or dealing with severe cognitive dissonance to see that the world we knew is crumbling. It's almost unrecognizable at this point. And it's all good because again, we are still here. That means we've made the next leap. We've held it out and dealt with the next level of the labor pains. The ladies know when, I've been in places and seen women give birth. The labor pains, there are different levels of intensity. So we're near the great birthing. And so, again, as the levels increase, the pain and the struggles, the turbulence, the inner turbulence, the discomfort becomes intensified as well. And so, don't fall for these people out here trying to convince everyone that because everything looks like it's going to hell in a handbasket, that's the way it is for everybody, because that's a lie. And anyone out here trying to give a specific date as to what something negative is going to happen, you can best believe they are either heavily manipulated, heavily programmed, or they are working for a controlled opposition, because nobody has the exact time or date on anything that is supposed to unfold naturally. Now, if they are a part of controlled opposition with inside knowledge of something that is being staged to be rolled out, yeah, but that's disingenuous. That's not real. I'm talking about the real deal, where the cosmic forces and higher level gods and our ancestors, our righteous ancestors, are involved. Now, when we talk about ancestors, we got to be really careful, because not all of our ancestors were righteous people or righteous beings. And just because they're on the other side does not mean they are all suddenly enlightened and loving and doing the right thing. Some of them have joined the dark side. Some of them have always been a part of the dark side. And that leads me to one of my talking points, but I'm trying to wait until more people come into the room, because at the end of the day, what I see happening is that there are a lot of us falling for the old okie dokie. We think that because someone looks like us in terms of our gender, skin, supposedly having the same walk as us, and they're out there speaking this great awakening knowledge, so on and so forth, we think those people have our best interests at heart. And then the reverse is thinking that because someone is not moving, thinking, or screwing like us, somehow they're the enemy automatically and they're not to be trusted. No, the game has been rigged heavily. Sean says, I know that we all have been labeled as crazy. I know for a fact that I think nobody is crazy for us thinking for ourselves, following our instincts. I think there's nothing wrong with that at all. I agree, Sean. Amar, that has to be one of the only reasons why these quote unquote difficult people are still here. Laugh out loud. Earth is so kind and patient. Yes, yes. Mother Earth, Mother Nature, the great mother, the righteous gods, the righteous ancestors. And remember when I talk about, I even wrote the song "You Are Loved Beyond Measure." There's elements of all of that in there. So when you see there are people still going around doing horrific things, vibrating in all kinds of craziness, but they're still being forgiven and given an opportunity by and by. But that door and that window is closing. Amar says at Dave over and about. ETs of all kinds have been here and are here. Yep. ABB has a video of experiences that took place well before now. Yes. They've always been here. Some of us are here. And when I say here, I'm not just talking about the ones who did not incarnate in a physical, dense human body. I'm also talking about on a spiritual soul level, meaning we look like humans, but we are not on the inside. Okay? Have you guys seen the documentary Died Suddenly? I have not, but I've heard something about it. Does this have to do with the snake juice? Y'all know what snake juice, aka, means. 0 Point Spirituality says, hey, ABB, when a shift happens, do you think that's when a solar flash will happen? Yes, it will. Now, there will be more than one solar flash. The gentle one, the first one will not be as strong as the second. But yes, it's all working hand in hand. Yes, so you're saying uh, the movie that you asked us about is related to snake juice. Yes, because again, us so-called crazy whack jobs, we've been telling y'all and warning y'all this would be. Okay? That's why I say I don't have to do anything in terms of forcing or making anyone see what people such as myself see and what we've been saying and thinking because we don't have advanced degrees or we don't have quote unquote an expert title to our names or we ain't the certain shade or what have you that we don't know what we're talking about. I've been living on this earth long enough to see and tap into things with no evidence in sight that has played out to be true to not doubt anything that I pick up anymore. That ended many years ago. And you guys who have been with me all these years, you see clearly I'm far from crazy. I'm far from out of touch with reality. I'm in two different realities at the same time. That's the difference. I'm in the reality that everyone else is in, fragmented, but I'm also in the reality that these people who a lot of these people think love and care about them down here are in as well. These people are in a totally different world and reality. And we just so happen to have insights on that as well. But I'm not interested in using my insights to rule over and dominate and control and manipulate people. That's not even in my DNA, even though I have the power and the knowledge to do it if I really want to. But I'm not interested in that. And I say all the time, a lot of people better be lucky I'm not really plugged into my dark side because, see, here's the thing. Those who are truly righteous and have proven themselves humble and will not use their gifts and talents to manipulate and control and subdue people are given knowledge of things that, let's just say, if we were to put in practice, we could do a lot of damage without going anywhere near anyone physically. And I tell people all the time, people had better be lucky with the kind of knowledge that I have and have been given. You had better be lucky I'm not working on the dark trench side. And I'm speaking for myself and others down here. And this is why I keep warning people, stop running up and disrespecting because you don't know who you coming up against. Again, what the body, a person may appear to be on the surface is one thing, but who they truly are and truly not attracted to, attached to, and the knowledge they have, it's gonna a whole nother ball game. And so a lot of people are learning this the hard way. Yes, I do. We all have a dark side, fam. Miles Mayer said, "Oh my God, you have a dark side. Can you tell us more about?" We all have the dark side, meaning this is the part of why many of us are here. We by nature have a dark side. Everyone does, right? And when I talk about the dark side, I'm talking about that side of us where we are capable of doing things that could bring a lot of harm and damage. And we are knowledgeable of things that others may not be fully awakened to, that can be used to manipulate and control and get things out of people to our benefit solely. So it's a combination of all that. Now, of course, these very things can be used as a form of protection. But again, if we have access to all these things with no emotional intelligence, no empathy, no harmonic sense of self in terms of our relation to the cosmos, this could be very dangerous. It's the difference of having access to a nuclear arsenal and endless ammunitions and guns, right? Someone who is righteous and would use that to protect them and themselves, that could be used in a very good way. But for those who are only caring about themselves and willing to kill, unalive, I'm so sick of this political correctness mess with these platforms. But people who are willing to unalive, manipulate, step on, mass genocide, all this stuff to do anything solely for their benefit, that's very dangerous, and it goes against universal laws, and it creates tremendous levels of karma. So if I were one with the knowledge, the insights that I have, with the knowledge that I had, the insights that I had, yes, I could be doing a lot of damage if I did not have the emotional intelligence and empathy in place to keep me from being reactionary with it, like a lot of people, or being sneaky and conniving and backstabbing with it. And trust me, I have been tested beyond belief with this, because a few have tried me, and I really had to go and pray and meditate to the gods. My mother still comes and visits me periodically. As a matter of fact, her 4th year anniversary of her transit, she comes without fail and visit me in my dreams. The 25th, every the 25th, the anniversary of her passing, but she often comes in when she sees I'm really being tried to help keep me level. And then of course my sister and my family members that I'm close to, and you guys kind of help because again, no man on this island, no man on this planet is an island. We all need a support system to help us, to keep us grounded. And again, I have knowledge where I can really do some damage to certain people without being anywhere near them or going anywhere near them. I'ma just leave it at that. And there are others down here. And aside from that, I also have uh let's just say beings around me who may not be as forgiving as I am. Say if you cross the line and being blatantly disrespectful or behind our back scheming and plotting when we don't bother nobody, okay, they may not be as forgiving, and they may, I can't always control them and calm them down. They may step in on our behalf. That's why I say this is not the time to be thinking you got a leg up and running around trying to harm any and everybody just because you think you got the upper leg. Because again, just like I say, there are levels to this great awakening. There are levels to those who got power. And there are a lot of beings down here who have power, but remember, there's always going to be somebody, some group, or some legion far more powerful. And what you will find, the most powerful of them all are going to be those who are the most balanced and the most humble. Okay, let me read some of your comments. Revamped Skunk, what's up, fam? I hadn't heard a sing from you in a while. You said I just had that thought a week ago. You can fear the demons and devils, but the righteous are ones to truly respect, because the ones in the highest dimensions can really do some damage if they really want to. You summed it up. And this is not ego tripping. This is not bragging. I'm one of the most humblest people you can ever come across, ever. You guys have seen evidence of this. I'm just telling it the way it is. 0 point spirituality. My mother visited me also in my dreams just this week. Yes, our mothers have a, and when I say our mothers, I'm not just talking about our mothers in this lifetime. I'm talking about great grandmothers, the great mother, the mothers are really doing their work. Doesn't stop here. When they cross over, they're still being our mothers. And again, that the mothers carry overwhelmingly carry that immeasurable love, or the closest on earth to carry that immeasurable love energy. And then the mothers who are on the other side of the veil totally embody it. Amar said, "This is why witchcraft and hexing, cursing others, never sit right with me, no matter the circumstance. It's always hard to tell the why from a human perspective." And that is very true. I was going to do a video about that, because with the internet now, with all of these people up here just willy-nilly showing people how to throw hexes, cast spells, this is very dangerous. This is very, very dangerous, because again, everybody is not equipped or ready for something like that. And so, excuse me, let me drink a little something. Hold on, y'all. It's always happen when I get to talk and the saliva go down the wrong pipe. And y'all know, my sister, my family, they'll tell you, whenever I start talking like this, or when I'm doing a reading or channel, if they come in the room behind me, they will literally say it feels like a sauna in here. This is why a lot of times I'm on camera sweating, because I'm telling you, when I do this, I am really, really charged up and becoming amped. And then I attract the ancestors from the other side who are holding a lot of energy. So I'm already really hot blooded. So I get really, really, really hot, really hot. Remember the video I did years ago when I talked about the being that got on the elevator, uh, and I said the elevator got extremely hot. It was hot that day, but that it was also because of me. I was heating up, because in that moment, and this is also why in that video I talk about the being, he started getting really fidgety and uncomfortable and wanted to quickly get off the elevator, because they're telepathic. I knew he was not human. He could read my mind, and I was looking at him, and he got very nervous and anxious, because what happens with these beings, if they lose their cool, if they get too anxious or really angry or too excited, they lose their form. So he had to quickly get off. And here's another thing I never told anyone: when those of us who are down here in human form come up against those who are vibrating a certain kind of way, even though our a DNA activation may not be active in that moment, if there is danger, the DNA activation can happen instantaneously, and we'll just know how to handle that situation if it becomes a combative one. Let's just put it like that. Adrian Gabriella, hey fam, welcome. Thank you so much. Gabriella said, "I'm a witch and I share my spells online. It's time we share this knowledge. I'm not down with cursing people, though. That is messed up." And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with sharing it. The part that makes it dangerous is the intent behind it, which your intention, again, you have negative and positives. Your intentions are pure, and it's not coming from a negative intent and a selfish place. There are those who are out there coming from a negative intent, a very dark and negative place, and they're more likely to attract those who are not ready for this kind of stuff. And they are going to, those who are attracted to it, not ready, will tap into it and use it, and will end up bringing a lot of mess to themselves that they're not equipped to handle. Yeah, they can't handle the frequency. Misty World, welcome, fam. How many people do we have in the room? I really don't go by this thing. I think everybody and their mother who's been watching even the first, I had people writing me telling me, who have literally just found me, saying that they know there's no way my content is absolutely being grossly shadow banned. So I don't have to say that at this point, but You guys who are in the room, please make sure you like the video. Nonetheless, um, oh, thank you. Oh, you're welcome, fam. And your calibration level is very high. Again, there because someone has the title wish does not automatically mean a negative person. That was taught by the opposition because, like Gabriella said, the opposition does not want us to have this knowledge, and there's nothing wrong with having the knowledge, but it's all about the intent and the level of preparation to receive the knowledge. So if you have a lot of people getting online, which many of them are caring nothing about anything other than clout, fame, making somebody love them. If you have to put a spell on someone to make them love them, you're already in error. You're going against universal laws because that's going against a person's will. You are trying to manipulate someone's will to your favor. That's a selfish reason to be using these things. Or if you're using it to exercise dominance and power and control over someone to feel like a god or to feel powerful or whatever, that's never a good reason. Or you're doing it to get rich. There's a lot that's going to come along with it that I guarantee these people have no idea. So again, getting the knowledge with the right preparation helps. It plays a big part in how that knowledge and that power is being used, because you can best believe the opposition is using everything in their arsenal against the people, and here's why they continue to keep the upper hand. But the wise, the humble, and those who put in the work and have the maturity levels to take that knowledge and use it in a way to balance the scales. That's what it should be used for. Hey, Ankh woman, welcome, fam. How you doing? Miss Kitty Lulu, special shout out to Miss Kitty Lulu, a devoted supporter. Love you, fam. Welcome. Hold on. Mm. My devoted supporters, I really appreciate. I talk to all of you guys when I get a chance. Um, some of you guys I have not gotten back to because I'm doing a lot of promotional work with my projects that I put work into. It's not for me. It's not about fame and all that kind of stuff. Because if it was, I would have sold my soul many years ago. Believe me, I've had many opportunities, guys. And people think that if your music ain't on the radio or if you won't have millions of views and likes, that's not my intention. That's not my motivation. I make my music and my creative works to get out there. It's a part of the ministry. It's about the frequency. It's about being an artist, a real artist. Real artists do it for the love of the art, not for fame and money. Now, if fame and money happens to be come by way as a byproduct, that's fine, but that's never been my motivation. I've grown up with people who got very, very close in the industry, and they quickly did about turn because these are very good-hearted, loving, righteous people. And when they got a peek of that mess, I'm telling you, just get in the front door is enough to, if you have a righteous heart and you're a loving person, you will do about face and get out of it. It's that messy. It's that dark and diabolical. I know I've been given insights on what the majority, 99.9% of them have to do to get that level of fame and notoriety, even on YouTube, even with the influencers. I'm probably one of the first to say now it's with the influencers on these platforms. These people who have millions of followers and subscribers on social media, many of them are playing this game as well. And the people think because they have millions of views and a legion of followers, they must be the real deal. That's the setup. That's the trap. And again, the dark force has infiltrated everything. And what I said in one of my lives many years ago, the game is to, through this great awakening, knowing that there will be millions and billions actually of people coming to some kind of level of awakening, to head it off by putting certain people in front of them to lead those people out of one collective mind prison right into another one. And those who agree to play the game are put out there on the forefront, and everyone else is shadow banned, censored, and suppressed, while those at the top come and take information from us and speak it as if they're coming up with this information. Okay, let me see what you guys are talking about. Oh, hey fam, Montuhuru. Mamiya, welcome fam. I have not seen or heard from you in a while too. Kanye West on 11/11/22 admitted his mother was sacrificed for his fame. Absolutely. They have to tell it. Now, we're at a point where, again, the levels where those on the dark side or playing on the dark side, and I'm going to say more about this with in terms of people like Kanye West, people who are on the dark side, they have to they're on a level they have to tell it, they have to spill it. It's not necessarily because they're doing it because it's the right thing to do. They're doing it because they are, let's just say, they're by the ball, so to speak. They have to. Now, here's something that I don't hear a lot of people talk about. Just as they have what they call a double agent in the righteous community, they have them in the dark community. So some of these people, things were set up to make it look like they were playing the game to basically gain the trust to get the insights that was needed in order to level the playing field. Okay? So there's some in that circle. That's why I say 99.9% of them. All we need is that 0.1% of the righteous to get in that circle as an agent for the righteous to play the game, to get the insight, to gain their trust. Because see, now they're in a quagmire because they're turning on each other because they don't know who's really real or who isn't in their circle. And truthfully, if they had that next level of discernment, they would know, but they won't know who's who. And now they're nervous and paranoid and turning on each other. Here's why they're starting to drop the ball and mess up right to left because they don't know who to trust on their side either. So their great organization is not so great as they thought it was. There's basically a loophole and a leak happening simultaneously. If I could really say what I see a lot, and I do mean a lot. I don't always speak on it. It's not for me to speak on it. Sometimes I really would like to. If y'all could see what I see, but in due time you will. So going back to the snake juice, unfortunately, that has to play out as it uh, and yeah, that just has to play out, and it's so unfortunate because we're seeing our loved ones being negatively affected by this, and that's another part of what makes this very difficult for us. Seeing, knowing this was going to happen, seeing that it was going to happen, and warning them that this is what was going to happen, and they're calling you crazy or you paranoid. And even my mother used to always say, "Y'all too paranoid," when we would talk about certain things. But guess what? Mama on the other side of the veil, she see everything. Trust me, they see everything. And my mother was blindsided by a lot of stuff. And family members who are listening to this, trust my word. Take y'all know I don't have to lie about nothing. I've always been someone before it became cool to be who you are unapologetically. I was doing this long before then. Yeah, it didn't make me very popular, make me someone a lot of people want to befriend, but I stood on my square. So why would I choose to live a life being unapologetically me and still be lying? I don't have to lie about anything. My character speaks for itself. So there was some lies and some things poured in my mother's ear before she transitioned. And now she's over there seeing the whole truth. And she made it very clear. She is so thankful now she can see what she could not see when she was down here in her ego in human form. And a lot of lies have been said about, especially myself, my sister, and my youngest nephew. I mean, my oldest nephew, but especially my sister and myself. A lot of lies, unbelievable lies. But I'm not going to put it out there because that's going to correct itself. Those who, the offenders, and they know who they are because they listen to my and watch my videos. I'm talking about lies that, if let's just put it like this. If you really, really knew someone and had a strong, loving connection with someone, and you saw them at their very best and very worst, right? And someone that you barely knew, that barely knew them, came and said some things about them that they did that you know in your heart can't possibly be true. Would you just accept that and go run and tell it to the hills like it's gospel? This is what my sister and I have been dealing with for years. It's been going on behind our backs for years. Now, here's the thing. We've always known it. We just couldn't get the evidence of it. So again, with this great awakening, the evidence of it has been leaking out over the years, and it has come to a climax. And those who just take things like this, and not just for myself or my family, anyone, just take anything you hear someone say and take it as gospel and just go running with it and spreading it. Be careful, because you very well may be bearing false witness, and there's a consequence that comes along with that, especially when you do it to certain beings. There's a harsh consequence that comes with that. And people who do this look around and wonder why they're getting all this bad luck, why their health falling apart, why their hair falling out. Why is every time they turn around, they're constantly in some kind of battle or fight with something or someone. It very well may be related to pushing lies and deception related to a false witness, a so-called demon. Again, I'm gonna come back. Just like you have angelics down here, you have those in human form, you have demonics down here in human form. Make no mistake about it. And so, coming back to levels, to the great awakening, the main point that I wanted to talk about here: just because someone is in your family, just because someone is the same sexual orientation as you, someone is the same religion as you, someone who been through the same things that you've been in your life, does not automatically make them someone who you should trust. It does not automatically make them someone you should keep close by. And it certainly does not make them someone that you should take at face value, because I'm telling you, a lot of souls have been compromised. You have a lot of demonics down here in human form. And I must reiterate, that whole shade based on race, all that mess is out the window, because the majority of us are so mixed up now. It ain't no pure really of anything. Okay, so these at one time where that whole thing making differentiations based on shade and skin color had some value or merit, but in this spiritual warfare, no, because you very well could have a very a being who really hate your kind and your tribe, just like they showed in Avatar, where they can put their consciousness in a being that look like the people, but their intentions are not pure. That's really happening. Again, they have to put the truth in plain sight. So so-called black people, y'all are fools, automatically thinking because somebody is a straight man talking this woke stuff, they got your back. Some of them are the main ones y'all should be looking at that side eye, because we've been programmed to think that a messiah and a leader is going to be a straight black man in the black community. It's the same as true for the other community. A straight white man, a straight Asian man, a straight, it's half truth. It's not the whole truth. Some of the most powerful messiahs down here are in female bodies. These men can't handle that. Some powerful messiah seeds are down here who are a part of the gay community. Yes, I'm saying it, like it or not. This is where the test. A lot of people gonna fail the test because you're putting your ego in the programming associated with the ego and those identity politics in the mix, and it blinds you from seeing and looking skin deep. And this is how the opposition is going to trick a lot of people into not the hell and fire brimstone that they push on us, but a hellish like reality in the end. And guess what? That which we hate, how long have I been saying this? That which we hate, condemn, constantly judge, and put down, that's what we're going to become. So the dark side has taken when I say the dark side, I'm talking about those who are totally embellishing that they are out of balance completely, and they have all of this wisdom and knowledge on the level that they're on, but they're pulling out all the stops to maintain a level of power and control. And what does their power and control comes out of? Divide and conquer based on race, based on gender, based on sexual, all the things that they keep us focused on. They are trying to play this game that one is right and and the other is wrong. When the truth is somewhere in the middle, where there's righteous and demonics on all sides, but you got to look in the middle and peel the layers back to see who the genuine ones are, who the genuine ones are. So again, the levels to this great awakening is we got to stop looking at the surface and looking at and just following, trusting what someone say because it sounds good. I've even said this about myself. I've said it many a times. Don't even take my word for it. But at this point, you guys have seen, I have done and shown myself to be absolutely trusting when it comes to these things. Because again, if I was on the dark side, if I was out here fooling and deceiving people, I would be one of the top faces out there in front of this great awakening. And it's not even about that, because here I'm humble enough to be okay in the background, but just know that I had a hand in awakening some giants, seen and unseen. Okay. And some of you guys have too. And I'm going to leave it at that. So again, these people out here trying to tell people, oh, don't trust this person or that person because they did that's linked to some kind of identity politics. You already know. Mm-mm. You already know. And pass the word. You listen to someone trying to keep telling that on this day this is going to happen, and on that day this is going to happen. They're saying a god or some god told them that. No, you don't trust it. And I think many of us should have seen this enough to know this is clearly a situation of the boy who cried wolf. They're going to constantly keep these things going to keep people in constant fear and paranoia. That's the whole game of it all. So as long as you're in constant fear and paranoia and distrusting, you're not really working on elevating your frequency. And again, they cannot make us do things, but they can get in our minds and trick us into getting in our own way and lowering our own frequency. uh Light of the World says, I don't believe in the great awakening. I'm tired of people. Well, you don't have to believe in it. The problem is, and I'm gonna tell you, this is kind of a reading too. The problem is you are around people who is only showing to you the dark and the negative, and you are plugging in social media that is constantly just showing you nothing but negativity. You're so plugged into that you think that's all there is. That's the problem. It's you need to change the shift your perception. That mentality is exactly what the dark side wants, because again, they've infiltrated everything. There is a false great awakening, don't make no mistake about it. I'm telling you what it is, and you're plugged into it. That's why you can't see the real one. And I'm not attacking you, I'm just explaining. When I start speaking about these things, I get very passionate. Again, are you listening? You're saying, but the majority are still believing everything. I said that there are levels. There are levels to this. Right now, the media has the greatest influence on the masses. But as the levels increase and their stronghold lessens and the righteous steps up, you're going to start to see this shift. It is shifting, but again, you're plugging in, you're looking at the negative. Again, he who controls the flow of information, what dictates our perception. Our perception. What you're talking about is a perception, but it's also a reality too. If you stay plugged into it, that's going to be the reality you're going to go down with. So What I'm saying is you have two realities happening at the same time. On one hand, it's still rooted in a great awakening, but it's a false awakening to lure you out of one mind prison into another. That's what I'm saying. You all you're doing is validating what I'm saying, and the whole point of me making this video. And I know how you feel, and I know how it looks. Believe me, I get it. Um, I get how you feel. And again, you guys have to remember, I didn't just wake up one day with this. I was born. I've always, anybody in my family will tell you, I've always had this level of perception and awareness. And I've always had one foot here and one foot in the spirit realm. So because I can see things and I see things and I've been seeing it far longer. People like us will see it, and I can understand it would be harder for you guys to see it. But if you can see all of the moving parts and you see again when you control the flow of information and all you keep feeding people and allowing to be seen as negativity, you're going to think that's the whole picture, and it's not. That's what I'm telling you. They got these influencers in the forefront. The news, all they report is negativity and drama. Then they got these celebrities that focus on mindlessness and negativity too, the ones that are in their pocket. Then you got these people who want views, who see that all they push in the forefront in the algorithm is negativity and drama, and these people who are plugging into that, and that's all they're pushing out there. So if that's all you're looking at, you're going to believe that's the whole world, and it's not. It's a perspective. You got it? I don't want you to get caught up in that, because this is how they're trapping a lot of souls in it. Because when you start getting into this defeatist victimhood mentality, all hope is gone mentality, you weaken your frequency and you shift your consciousness and your reality to where they are, and then that becomes your reality. Remember, I've been saying, this is why people say why I keep saying the same thing, because I say it and I say it, and it's like it's not really clicking, or it's new to people. Reality is far more fluid. We are in a simulation. Okay, and I'm going to talk more about this when I'm going to do a video about manifestation. That was by request. We are in an assimilation. Have you guys seen when they put the goggles on, and from the human mind perspective, they're in an assimilation, and they say it's like you're really in whatever that assimilation is. Now, to drive it home, we are in an assimilation. Guess what the helmet of the assimilation is? Let me see who can guess it. Guess what the assimilation helmet is? Let's see if y'all can guess what it is. The brain. There you go. Unplug the matrix. What's up, fam? I have not seen you in a long time. The brain. And the brain is programmable. The brain is software. The brain is the equivalent of the body is the okay. Let me do the analogy with the computer again. This is a refresher. The human body is the equivalent of the hardware of a computer. The brain will be the equivalent of the software program. However, your mind and your consciousness will be the equivalent of the programmer. You can be programmed and you can follow the program, but you also have the ability to run the program and operate it. Or the mind and consciousness is the equivalent of the person sitting at the computer and operating it and using it. So in the what they call the mind's eye, your mind particle and your consciousness is right there on the mind, in the mind eye. There's a mind particle sitting in that, and then you have a mind particle in where the gut flow is, right? Because that's your second brain. The brain is sitting on top of your greater mind consciousness and blocking the perception. So while that's going on, those who know how all this works is programming the assimilation of brain. You got it? So so those of us who can see above and outside of the assimilation, the brain, the human brain, we can override it and go outside and see what they can see. And we get the information and we come back and we say, hey guys, look, we're not really these bodies, and this brain we're plugged into an assimilation, and this brain, due to all the years of the indoctrination, programming, and all this stuff that those who are controlling and manipulating us put in our brain, this is really what's going on. And of course, we're seeing crazy whack jobs. And these people are heavily plugged into the assimilation. And people, the assimilation is reinforced when you are constantly feeding into the information that they decide that you do plug into. And we're not even talking about the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is what's really what we see in the assimilation. That's the part most of us are not even plugged into that. So it's really, really deep. I had multiple, thank you, Alma, for the reminder. I have multiple videos on this, and I look back on some of those videos. When I look at some of those videos, even I am blown away by some of the stuff I was putting out there. And and you have people who are just waking up thinking all this stuff is new. Nature of reality is far more fluid than meets the eye. And if you guys can do a little homework, go and look up a simulation experiment or a simulation program, and they will show you just how easy it is to fool the human mind into seeing something that would look 100% real, physical, and solid to the brain of the person plugged into the a simulation. But we looking at them, it look like they just reaching in plain space and air. But in that person's mind, they are that stuff looks real, fixed, and solid. That's what I'm telling you. We are plugged in a simulation that is millions of years in advance compared to the simulation trickery that we have going on down here on Earth. So I don't want to make this video too long. I'm cooking. I got to tend to the dinner. Um, yeah, virtual reality goggles. Absolutely, Amar. I want you guys to please, please, please do your homework. Look up a simulation experiment and program to help you really see and the everything that I just said to really drive it home. And I'm going to do a video about manifestation. And I got more stuff coming down the pike. Again, I'm not uploading as consistently. I think I may pick up next year, depending on how things go. And by all means, guys, please continue to support the album. Someone had told me that my album isn't on Spotify. It's there. I took the old version down because remember I was having a lot of issues with the name and branding. My name was on somebody else's music artist page and vice versa. So I took it down, renamed the album, call myself ABB, aka AstralBooBaby. So when you looking for it on Spotify, Amazon Music, or whatever, go there and type in ABB, aka AstralBooBaby, and go in there, play it. You don't even have to download it, just play it. If you want to download it and share it, hey, by all means, this is helping to spread the vibes, the good vibes, the higher frequencies. Great to hear from you and great to see you guys, Misty World. Thank you very much. Um, and yeah, so next year I will be doing more videos for sure. And I will probably upload a few more before the year is out. Again, thank you guys for this moment, and please make sure you hit that like button before you log out, and make sure that like button is sticking. And by all means, please share the content because you know it's not being recommended to anyone. So I rely on you guys to share the content. All right, you guys have a very, very good one, and I look forward to chatting with you guys, hearing from you guys again really soon. Immeasurable love always.